Mike was a successful businessman in his mid-30s who had always dreamt of having a family of his own. However, due to some health issues in the past, he was worried about his fertility and how it would affect him if he ever got to marry. And for this reason, he wanted to make sure that his future wife would be able to bear children before he committed to marriage. Mike dated and slept with several women over the years, but none of them was able to get pregnant. He started to question whether the problem lay with him, as he was desperate to start a family of his own. He felt frustrated and lost, not knowing what to do next. One day, as Mike was out with his friends, he met a beautiful, intelligent, and kind woman named Delilah. They clicked instantly and started dating. Mike knew he had to be upfront with Delilah about his desires to have children, and so he told her about his concerns regarding his fertility. Delilah was understanding and supportive. She assured Mike that they would figure things out together and that she was willing to take a risk. Mike was touched by her kindness and decided to take a chance with her. They dated for a few months and things were going well. Then one day, Delilah dropped a bombshell on Mike during one of their dates. She was pregnant. Mike was overjoyed and immediately proposed to her. They got married in a hurry before the pregnancy would show, and 6 months later, Delilah gave birth to a healthy baby boy. However, something didn't sit right with Mike. He couldn't shake off the feeling that it was so soon for Delilah to put to bed. But despite his doubts, he pushed them aside and focused on being a good husband and a father. Years passed, and Mike and Delilah decided to try for another child. But this time, Delilah didn't conceive. Mike started to suspect that there was something amiss. He couldn't understand why Delilah had gotten pregnant so easily the first time, but was struggling now. One day, they invited Mike's parents over to see their grandson. As Delilah was having her in-laws, an idea struck in her mind that it would be better for her to have a child with someone with a close DNA to her husband, and she dragged Mike's father and pulled him out of the crowd and laid with him. And 2 weeks later, she found out that she was pregnant. Months later, Delilah gave birth to another healthy baby, and Mike was thrilled to have a second child. However, his joy was short-lived when he overheard a phone conversation of Delilah bragging about how she had deceived him and how he was foolish. Mike was furious and confronted Delilah. In turn, Delilah pushed Mike and he hit his head so hard on the floor, and immediately Delilah injected him with a slow poison. She knew she had to cover up for her secret and maintain her status as Mike's wife, and so she pretended to take care of Mike every day, feeding him meals laced with poison until he eventually died. When Mike passed on, Delilah put on a facade when people were around her, pretended to mourn her husband, but when she was alone, she would burst out in loud laughter, revealing her deceit. No one suspected a thing, and after Mike's burial, Delilah inherited everything that Mike had left behind. In the end, Mike's children were not his own, and Delilah had gotten away with murder. The end. If you have enjoyed this story this far, please do not leave without giving it a like, subscribe, and share. And please consider leaving a comment on the comment section telling me whether you enjoyed the story and telling me whatever city or country you're watching me from for me to give you a shout out on the next episode of Wonder Tales by Julia.